Burning your bridges. From two angles. Firstly, how it is viewed as an analogy in life, for either severing or damaging a bond with someone or something, leaving it in tatters or in great need of repair, and is often seen as a bad thing. But as with my Rocking the Boat article, which looked at it differently, I did the same with this one, following on from a review of the saying, "It's water under the bridge," noting that often it is one side who just wants to move on and forget about it. Occasionally, it's a small thing, and someone who wishes to minimise it will say it and make the other party understand it is a throwaway thing. But for the more serious matters, some try to minimise it and make it throwaway. This is where it causes an issue and ties into this saying, because when people say it, they are not sometimes comprehending the flow of said water, the path of destruction it may have taken, and if indeed a bridge was destroyed along the way, meaning there is no longer anything for it to pass under, if you catch my drift. But if you damage the pathway of the flow, or block it, or try to divert it, that's usually where people have a problem, and just telling someone to move on, get over it, or try and pretend it isn't serious, isn't a good way to deal with it, on both sides. Now to the second point, about burning your bridges as a literal act, or collapsing them, steering ships into them, or derailing trains on them, as well as burning them down. It would seem an unfortunate accident if it were one or two. But it seems, as with the food factory explosions and wildfires before them in the US, the recent incidents on bridges and necessary routes are being taken out very much on purpose. And at a time when there seems to be much instability and created issues with infrastructure, I can see why it is cause for concern. Making me think of previous calamities or economic struggles there and here, and how they too were orchestrated like we see now. Stealing water sources, disrupting the farming and food, wiping out financial stability with loans, interest, banks, laws and regulations. It seems an attack from within is happening in many places, towards its own people and cultures, wanting to replace, rewrite and remove what stands in the way of their progress. And I can't help thinking that's what's happened before, to create these cultures and traditions people fight for. But what if we are just the previous lot who has moved into position, used for purpose and given a history to believe in and be patriotic about? With everything else being questioned and so many tricks and illusions in play, it would seem reasonable to question it. And the newcomers will just be us in 10 generations or so, just as we were newcomers once. From where though? On that, I'm not so sure.